The election may be more than a year away, but the campaign trail is already hot. And one issue set to make a big impact.
You can't nowadays pay your way through college.
You can make, anywhere from 16 bucks an hour to 200 bucks an hour.
They're really taking away opportunity for our low-income students.
Education.
We're in Massachusetts, a state rich with history and home to some of the most prestigious universities in the world.
But hundreds of years since the American Revolution, higher education is forcing millions of Americans to fight another battle. Billions of dollars in student debt. What's being done to help people struggling to pay it off? And we're digging into other issues with education, creating challenges for all ages in America. The school year is back, and so are we. This is The Race.
Welcome into The Race. I'm Chris Stewart. Each week leading up to the 2020 election, we're going to be taking a look at the issues that are going to have a major impact on your vote. And this week we're talking everything education. Our team is nationwide. We're looking at issues like the rising cost of education to how schools are funded. Now we're here in the Boston area. That is Harvard University behind us. This area is home to some big name schools that have some big name price tags. Tuition here at Harvard is close to $50,000. So let's start with the issue that is impacting so many people right now, and that is student loan debt. At least 44 million Americans owe $1.6 trillion in student loans, and that number is climbing. That's also $521 billion more than America's collective credit card debt. Students who graduate with debt graduate on average with $38,000 in debt each. Now, according to debt.org, Americans rack up almost $2,900 in student debt every second. People actively paying off student loans pay an average of $393 per month. Now, right now, a third of people under the age of 30 are dealing with student debt. And we met up with a woman who is part of that group. She graduated college years ago, but she's still paying off her loans. And we talked to her about what it's like to deal with that student debt and how she plans to get out of it.
I graduated in 2015 and I went to Stonehill College. I have federal subsidized and unsubsidized student loans that I got each semester that I was in school. I also have a couple of private loans that I took out towards the very end of school when finances were, getting really tight.
How has student loan debt impacted your life?
If I didn't have to make payments every month towards student loans, I think I could be doing other stuff with the money. I could be saving it. I could be saving for a vacation. I could probably go out more, do things with friends. So it is what it is. I think everyone I know has student loans right now. Now I work for a nonprofit in Boston. So we work with the district and the city of Boston to ensure access and high quality out of school time, so summer learning and after school programs for Boston Public School students. I could be in a lot worse of a situation. I could have a lot more debt than I have. I have less than $30,000 in debt.
But how long is that going to take you to pay off?
Definitely 10 to 15 years.
There's 44 million borrowers in the United States. 70% of college students are graduating in debt. It's a universal problem, or near universal problem.
How did we get into this student debt crisis?
I think to some extent it has to do with the ease of availability of student loans, both federal and private, the rapid increase in higher education costs like tuition, room and board, a cultural push that everyone should go to college, and then beyond that everyone should go to graduate school, and a pulling back of public resources and public investment in higher education.
You can't nowadays pay your way through college. I think even some of the most affordable college programs, maybe it's an online program, you're still gonna have debt.
Do you still feel that college is worth the price?
I feel like college is worth the price if college is right for you. I think part of it is finding what works for you and what's gonna make you happy in life while keeping that balance of smart finances and kind of playing the long game.
Now, accruing all that student loan debt is one thing, but paying it all off is another. Young people today put more than 20% of their paychecks towards student debt. TD Ameritrade just put out the numbers that show a ripple-down effect. Hefty payments mean people can't save money for emergencies or for investments like a home. The Urban Institute says up to 1 million people default on their federal student loans each year. It predicts 40% of people will be in default by 2023. Defaulting can come with lawsuits and extra fees and a serious hit to the credit report. Anyone struggling to pay does have options. Deferment, income-based repayment plans, and refinancing can help people get back on their feet. Lenders have specific programs for anyone already in default. Now, here at Harvard, it's a private school, but when we talk about public education, an undergraduate degree costs 213% more now than it did just in the late 1980s, so it's no wonder that 19 million people filed for federal financial aid in the 2017-2018 school year. But now there are questions about whether that system is fair. Chris Welch is taking a look at a loophole that might be taking money away from people who need it most.
My reaction was, I think, disappointment, but not surprise.
Emily Goodman works for a nonprofit that helps low-income students finish college. So you could understand why she'd be disturbed by these recent articles from ProPublica and the Wall Street Journal exposing a loophole in the federal qualifications for financial aid.
Wealthy families are giving up guardianship of their high school students, usually in their junior or senior year, to family members, to friends, to coworkers, in an attempt to make college more affordable.
See, by giving up guardianship, the student is given independent status, meaning they'd now qualify for more financial aid since their parents' income can no longer be considered.
They're really taking away opportunity for our low-income students in our state who may be the only access to college that the only pathway to college is through state financial aid.
According to a ProPublica investigation, the students in question were accepted at a number of institutions, including within the University of Illinois system. But it gets even worse. According to reports, the more than 40 families in question were from one of the wealthiest places in the state, Lake County, home to gated mansion after gated mansion.
These parents that really have the ability to pay are robbing the dreams of certain families and their children the ability to go to college.
State Representative LaShawn Ford admits that the practice is technically not illegal, so financial aid rules would have to be changed on a federal level. But on the state level, lawmakers plan to crack down on private college admissions businesses that allegedly turned parents on to the practice.
So what we're going to do is look at regulating those businesses and make sure that they are licensed so that we can have some type of restrictions on how they guide and drive people to these type of immoral behavior.
But Justin Drager with the National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators says officials must be careful with how they fix the loophole.
What we don't want is an overcorrection that then makes it really difficult, if not impossible, for students who are in legitimate legal guardianships to qualify for financial aid.
But at the end of the day, this loophole really only further exposes the elephant in the room.
If people have to go through measures to lie, cheat, and rob other people of opportunities to go to college, college is not affordable.
Reporting in Chicago, I'm Chris Welch.
Now, all of this brings up the question, is a college degree actually worth it? There's a growing argument that it isn't. We are going to break down the return on investment and also take a look at what the candidates are saying. That's when the race continues.